Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Let It Be and Be to Live. First, I'll say I'm sorry for the bad quality again, and for the bad lighting, and maybe that noise in the background. I can understand if it'd be a bit bothersome. I'm just currently in my family's apartment, which is bone empty, like nothing's in it. Sitting on my mattress, which is this really cool sleeping pad that I recently got for my travels. And it's actually really freaking hot, and the AC is on right now, just trying to cool off the space, which is doing a valiant job, even if it's not specifically cold here. Yes, so that was the introduction. Let me actually add to that introduction. Again, like I said, I'm sitting right now in my apartment, in my parents' apartment in Riverdale, Riverdale, Bronx, New York. Yeah. And it's actually important to me to specifically say where I am every video, because I tend to travel a lot, or more to go from place to place a lot. Yeah, travel is a good word, honestly. And it's, I think, cool to see where I'll be from week to week. And I kind of have a track of that, a record of that. But also, I think it'd be interesting, I don't know, again, to push that like idea or that theme of being able to do anything, whatever it be, whether it's making a video blog, or whether it's traveling, even if you don't have the means to go about it. And I'll get back to that in a bit. I want to just say that this is, I guess I'll put it out there that I don't know exactly what this video blog or these like episodes are going to be about. I thought of maybe jotting down some ideas right before I did this video, and I thought that it would not be ideal, because I really wanted to come spur of the moment, and also because if I were to write down some ideas on my phone, I would be able to look at them as I record the video. So for many reasons, I decided not to do that, and really just roll with what I just roll with whatever comes to mind. And as it stands, two things come to mind. One thing is actually that aspect of compartmentalization that I do, and also anger management that I do. So first off, I'll say that I'm 100% grateful. Easily one of my best qualities is that I'm very easy, like I might not forget easily, but I forgive pretty easily. Like things that will piss me off, I'll be like, a friend of mine said it in high school, I'll be like a burning barrel, like a barrel of oil or gasoline, slowly I'll add up, then you light me on fire and I'm burning hot for 10 minutes, and then I die down, and then I'm back to being a barrel, basically. The point of that metaphor was basically to say that I might get angry in the moment, and I might be very heated and very pissed off and raging. I was known, not necessarily it's my best time, but it is part of my story. But when I was younger and I didn't have a specific way to express myself, and I would get into these heated debates with my parents, and it was just so much energy was building up inside of me that I would let it out the only way I could think of, which basically was just yelling and screeching my head off. And I'm not talking to you at like a 5-year-old. I did it at like a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old. Let's just say it's not becoming of a person of that age to act that way. But I just couldn't. I lost it. Tears streaming, snot, everything's just flowing out of my orifices, and just like yelling at it out of my lungs, and like going batshit crazy, basically. And that was just like my way of just like showing my displeasure at the situation. Since then, toned it down, and I might cry, or I might tears might be shed if I'm not trying to hold back my tears and cover my emotions, but no longer does snot fall out of my nose. So I've made leaps and bounds. But seriously, what's it called? Yeah, now when I get angry, like volatilely angry, I might yell and I might curse and my tone might be louder, but I don't go anywhere near where I used to be. And I'm glad for that, because that's not a proper way to deal with situations, just to just lose it and go insane. So yeah, now what I do and and in less severe circumstances and like situations where I'm just mildly angry or whatnot, it's, again, I have that emotion, I respect that emotion, and I let it flow through me for an appropriate amount of time. And that's a tricky one. Appropriate amount of time could be, half a day, could be a few minutes, I don't know, it really depends on that moment, because sometimes it's good to have that anger, because it either gives you a boost of confidence, it gives you a boost of energy to do whatever task you're needing to do, whether it's just standing up to someone who's not being nice to you, or if it's whatever it is. But then there's also that important point of letting the anger go and letting it dissipate and just flow out of you and release. So like I said, I have like that aspect of myself that I'm pretty good at, and it happens almost naturally, but I also have a conscious decision to say, okay, let it go, and then again, once that amount of time has passed, and I'll be over it. Like, I'll remember the situation, and I could maybe still get angry or reminisce of the anger, but I don't let it touch me too much. And that could actually be an aspect of that compartmentalization I was talking about, because I found that it's a very useful tool to have in my life, in the way I do, in the way I live, because not just with emotions, just in general, like if you break down things into like manageable parts, and you're able to deal with everything more readily, whether it's a task, like, okay, you have to clear out this basement, and then just do that. So you compartmentalize it and be like, okay, let me get out all the things in the front first, and then let me see if I can try and get out all the smaller bits, just so I can kind of see what the larger things I have to deal with and work with inside. And whatever it is, and then, onwards with that example. My compartmentalization more, and I'm just going to shorthand call it comp right now, but my comp skills more come into the way I deal with like situations, in the sense that it's like, right now, like this past week, I left Israel after only being home for about 5 weeks, after I'd been gone for about 5 months, 5.5 months. And I actually was looking forward to having some downtime in Israel, hanging out with friends, being with family, enjoying being at home and all that. And then an offer came that I couldn't refuse. And I'll get into that in a bit. And basically I made a decision, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be flying out at the end of the month, or at the beginning of August, flying to America, and I'll be in America and I'll be into New York for a few days, call it 3-4 days, and then I'll fly from New York to Nevada and start this next chapter of my life. And usually, a person before the flight is super anxious, super nervous, or excited, what have you not, but whether it's between the fact that I've done this so many times, it might have been my fourth trip from Israel to America in the past 1.5 years, 2 years, or the fact that I was just able to I was able to comp it. I don't know, I wasn't as nervous as I should be. The way I work is that I leave all my packing to the last day. Of course, things that I need to do beforehand and can only be done weeks in advance, I'll do those almost half-assed half-assed, assedly, half-assedly. But I really get down to business the day before, and that's the day, and that's I get everything packed, ready to go, or even the day of rather is when I do it. So I mean, I had to go out, to grab some last minute stuff that I had to wait, I guess, like I said, last minute to do because I did everything half-assedly. So I was with my mom 4 hours before I was set to, or even it was, let's say, 5 hours before the flight, 2 hours before I had to go out, leave the house or so, to get to the airport on time. And I'm waiting and and the line is taking forever. And usually if you're just waiting in line and it's taking forever, that's grounds in and of itself to get pissed off or annoyed. But add to that I'm still not packed, and add to that I'm flying out in 5 hours, and add to that it's such a long time and I'm still not ready or don't know what I'm bringing. Having to weigh my bags, having to play that whole weight game, which is so fucking annoying to do. It would have added, you would expect it to add more pressure, but I feel like I managed to handle my anxiousness very well. I put it to the side, I said, okay, it's okay, you know basically what you're bringing, this is not the biggest deal in the world, you're okay. And in that way I was able to, push off or mitigate or even just put to the side all my anxiousness, and I was just less worried about everything. Instead of being worried about something you literally can't fix, just be easy and go with the flow and just roll with it. I think I did that pretty well. It went pretty well. If I could summarize that, I would say live to be more carefree, and then be carefree to live. Again, weird, I know, I'm not 100%, that doesn't 100% make sense, but it's also like whatever, you hopefully getting my drift. That would be my kind of encompassing of the comp situation. And there was actually the second part I wanted to get to, which was that whole aspect of, what was it? I forgot. Okay, well, maybe talking about that next step in my life, which is, no, let's take that time and say that anyways. So basically, tomorrow morning I fly to Nevada to be part of Burning Man. That is the offer I couldn't refuse. I got a offer to work as part of a volunteer crew at Burning Man and therefore get a ticket for free. It was like kind of like an ultimatum. Either I told them, look, I want to come, I really want to be there. I'm ready to help out in whatever way I can. But unless I get the ticket for free, there's no way I'm able to afford to get there. And then in the end I got it, which was just 1 in a million kind of chances, and I'm so happy and lucky. So basically tomorrow I'm flying out. Never been to Nevada, never been to where I gotta get to, a lot of questions and unknowns. But again, I comp those and I don't let it get to me. So I have no idea what I'm going to do there. I have no idea what I'm going to eat, where I'm going to sleep, what I'm going to do, who am I going to do it with. But I'm also okay, because, I've been to one other Burning Man festival, and even though I don't know anyone I'm going to be working with or meeting with there, I kind of understand what burner culture is, and I love it, and I feel comfortable with it, and I'm ready to start working in it. About the fact that I have no plans afterwards. And that actually was, even with all the comp that I was doing, I was still super nervous about it because it's frightening not to know what your next move is. And it's even more frightening because of my, financial situation is so shit. I have currently $450 in my bank account, in one bank account, and the other bank account I have about another, let's call it another, call it another 500 or $500 to $800. It's in shekels, right, in my Israeli account, and that's it. That's all the money I have in all the world. And I'm flying off to Nevada, and after Burning Man, which is a month long for me because I'm volunteering. And again, in the volunteership phase, I'll be taking care of food and lodging. After that, I have no plans, no ideas what I'm going to do, where I'm going to be, where my next meal is going to come from. Personally, as a traveler, the one thing I'm looking for is, lodging is the most important thing, and then after lodging, food and water. If I get those, then I don't care what I need to do. Like I'll do work for food and lodging, like the work exchange, and I'm good with that. I love that. Work away, that's my jam. That's kind of my backup plan if nothing pans out after Burning Man. But I'm also hopeful and thinking, almost expecting that I'll meet some cool people at Burning Man and we'll go together on on like a road trip. Hopefully that'll work out. But that's the thing. I have absolutely no idea. But I'm okay with that. I've definitely had about a month and a half now, a month or so, to come to terms with that, to make the decision, that active decision of not making any plans after Burning Man. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna go with the flow. It's gonna be fine. Worst case scenario, I can always come back to New York. I can, worst case scenario, I lose all my money, I'm completely fucked. I can just borrow money from my mom, my dad. They'll fly me back to New York. I'll work, pay them back the money, and then I'll work more to make some money. And then, to change what's it called? In Hebrew, the word is ofi. Let's say the English is the vibe of the trip will have changed because, I ran out of money, or I got fucked, or whatever it is, and now I have to work to make up some money, but it's still going to be an experience, even if the worst case happens. And you know what? The worst case doesn't have to happen. For all I know, the best case, and better than I could even dream, is going to happen. So I'm okay with the uncertainty and the unknown, and I'm ready for it, I'm excited for it. And on that note, since it's my last day now, I have to go actually pack for for Burning Man. So thank you everyone again for viewing. I say thank you for viewing, even though I checked a few times the past week and I noticed that no one saw my first video, but that's okay, because like I said, that's fine. I think at this point I can comfortably say I'm okay with people seeing the video and commenting and sharing it. I actually am going to tell one of my friends about it tomorrow, and he's going to probably see the video tomorrow, so I'll get my first view that isn't myself viewing the video. But again, thanks for anyone else who's watching. If you have anything you want to tell me, I'm happy to hear and listen and share and talk. Live to be, and be to live.